Hey guys, welcome to the channel. Welcome to another video. It is almost time for a big title contenders clash between Liverpool and Manchester City taking place today later on at Anfield. But before we get into that, to whet the appetite, we have got a combined 11 for you today. Looking at a combined 11 of Liverpool and Manchester City players. You know the drill of combined 11s. I personally don't like them, but the Arsenal and Liverpool one was interesting enough that I did earlier on this year, so I thought, why not do it with Liverpool and Manchester City this time around? Before we go any further though, when looking at the team ahead, I would like to remind you all to please like the video and also subscribe if you're new. Both things are always and very greatly appreciated. And of course, for you lot to get involved as well. Let me know your thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you want to call it, on the combined 11 that I've chosen. Maybe your own combined 11 or anything to do with the game ahead later on today. So without further ado, let's get on with the video, and let's start with obviously the goalkeeper, and I have gone for a certain Alisson freaking Becker. Now, in my opinion, Alisson has always been better than Ederson. I've always rated Alisson better than him. Not to say Ederson's a terrible goalkeeper by any stretch of the imagination. I've just always found Ederson to be somewhat overrated, and I think that just because he can pass the ball 40 odd yards and it be accurate doesn't necessarily make him a better goalkeeper than what Alisson is. And I think Alisson has honestly been such an excellent signing for Liverpool, an incredible signing, and has been one to keep them in so many games, win them so many points, and has saved Liverpool on a number of occasions with some absolutely phenomenal stops down the years that I just genuinely believe Alisson is so much better than Ederson. Ederson I've always found to be somewhat overrated. Not terrible, but just overrated by certain fans. Alisson over Ederson to kick things off. 1-0 Liverpool. Next we move on to the fullback situation, and I've gone with the two Liverpool men in the fullback positions. Now, of course, Trent Alexander-Arnold will not be playing today because of injury, so that kind of falls to Connor Bradley, but I don't like to really put... I'm taking this as if everybody was fully fit and everybody was obviously playing to the best of their ability. So I've gone with Trent Alexander-Arnold at right back, and I've gone with Andy Robertson at left back. Now, I could have easily gone with one of each. I think Robertson's a shoo-in because City have not had a proper left back for a number of years and have somehow managed to win a number of trophies along the way. But for right back, obviously, I think that it is a bit more difficult to call. Now, of course, you'll know that the main contender to that position from Manchester City's point of view is, of course, a certain Kyle Walker. I like Walker. I think he's a decent player. I do think that he is bailed out a lot by his pace. And I think the argument that Trent Alexander-Arnold can't defend is completely lazy and has been a complete oversight to the defenders' improvement over recent years. I think Trent is better defensively than what a lot of people claim he is. And I think that obviously he is one of the best attacking prospects in the league and is one of the best attacking options and units in the league as of right now. So for me, Trent gets the nod just over Kyle Walker. If he had Kyle Walker's pace, I think defensively he'd be a lot better. But unfortunately, he's not blessed with Kyle Walker's pace. So he has to make up for what he has. And what he does have in his locker is a defensive performance that, whilst a little bit inconsistent, has been on the improvement over recent years. And of course, a wand of a right foot. I know that we always rate the left foot with being a wand, but honestly, the right foot of this guy is incredible. Absolutely incredible. Whether he's firing the ball into the back of the net, whether he's firing passes across the field and with pinpoint accuracy, he is insane in his passing range and in his ability with that beautiful right foot of his. As for Andy Robertson, don't think he really had much competition. I still don't rate Gvardiol in that kind of position or Ake in that left back position. So a more natural fitting Andy Robertson takes that particular role in this combined 11. Next up, centre back, the heart of the defence is taken up by Virgil van Dijk and John Stones. Now, Van Dijk for me is the best defender on the planet right now. For me, he is absolutely insane. He's an absolute beast. He's an absolute monster in the heart of that Liverpool defence, and has stepped up really brilliantly in recent weeks, and has stepped up ever since he's got the captain's armband. In all honesty, a lot of people obviously thinking about the big injury he suffered a few years ago. Would he come back? And he did come back for a season, and he was imperious yet again. And then he dropped off a little bit last year, but everybody in Liverpool dropped off a little bit last year, and this season he has really redeemed himself and has proven a lot of people wrong when they said that he was finished, he was done for. He has really come back with a vengeance. That's why Van Dijk goes straight into this team. As for Manchester City, it was a little bit difficult because I wasn't going to go with Konate, obviously. I wasn't going to go completely Liverpool for the back five. But obviously City had to be in there. And it was between Ruben Diaz and John Stones. Now, a lot of people may go with Ruben Diaz. I'm going to go with John Stones on this one. I think John Stones is miles better than Ruben Diaz. I think Diaz, again, is a very good defender, but he's similar to Ederson in the fact that I find him a little bit overrated. For me, Stones is better. For me, Stones has better technical ability. He's better on the ball. And I think he's just cleaner. I think he's just a much more cleaner, much more polished defender than what Ruben Diaz is. And that's mad to say that if you cast your minds back to when obviously Man City first bought John Stones, he was rash, he was young, he was seen as a waste of money for about £50 million at the time. Well, look at how far he's come from now. From then until now. I think he's much better than Rodri. Again, I think it is open for debate, and I welcome the debate of whether Rodri is better than John Stones. But yes, I've got to firmly go with this one. John Stones over Rodri, and he partners Van Dijk in my combined 11 here. Centre defensive midfield has to go to one man and one man only. Rodri. I think Endo's been great this season. But again, I'm going with longevity in this one. Rodri is superb. Rodri is insane. Rodri, for me, probably should have been higher in the Ballon d'Or rankings. And I said that time and time again. I think you can really see the difference in Manchester City when he doesn't play in comparison to when he does. This guy is absolutely insane. He's the heartbeat of that Man City team. Everything that goes for Manchester City has to go through him. And that is a big compliment for this man right here. So insane as what it is, as beautiful as what it is, Rodri for me takes the centre defensive position. In the midfield, again, it's all Manchester City this one. It's Kevin De Bruyne and Bernardo Silva. Now, for Silva's position, I could go with McAllister. I think McAllister has been absolutely amazing this season. But again, I'm going with a bit more longevity, and I'm going with Silva. But maybe in a year or two's time, maybe that might change, of course. I think McAllister's been brilliant. I think he deserves an honourable mention in terms of choosing the midfield. But for me, Bernardo Silva just gets ahead of him just because of his work rate, just because of his technical ability, just because of the way that in clutch moments this guy steps up when it matters most. I can't tell you the amount of times that we've seen over the past couple of years. I don't really rate him as a person, and obviously he has a bit of beef with Liverpool fans, so I kind of don't like the guy, but I can't help but admit that this guy is a footballing genius. And, whether it's being on the ball and finding a killer pass, whether it's keeping things ticking over in the midfield for Manchester City, or whether it's being versatile enough to play out on the wing, this guy gives it 110% every game, and this guy constantly fits in wherever he's needed. And whether it is coming up clutch in big moments with big goals or big assists, this guy does it in abundance. And Kevin De Bruyne, what can I say about Kevin De Bruyne that hasn't already been said about this man before? Absolutely insane, a creative genius, sees things before anybody else does. He is 5 steps ahead of his opposition every single time. He is insane with what he can do with a football. I can't really say any more on that. He's absolutely phenomenal. Wing positions are up next, and I've gone with Mohamed Salah and Phil Foden. Now, there is a big debate over whether Phil Foden's best position is on the left wing or whether it is through the middle. As we've seen in recent weeks, Foden is excelling right now, and he's stepping up for Manchester City. In a team full of already superstars, this guy coming through the academy and giving those academy graduates hope that not only can they make it in this Man City team, but they can just power on through and become a big part of the City team, rather than City just use all of their deep pockets and bottomless pits of money to obviously buy those certain players. Foden is the guy that is currently making things happen for Man City, and is currently the guy to obviously make a difference in that City lineup. For me, he goes straight into this team. Yeah, like I said, you could maybe argue he maybe deserves a place in the midfield rather than the wing, but I think City's midfield is already tied up in that particular aspect when it comes to when it comes to that. When it comes to obviously. Like I say, the three midfielders that I picked of Manchester City already. So for me, Phil Foden goes into this team on the left. Mohamed Salah on the right. Need I say any more? It's similar to Kevin De Bruyne. He is simply phenomenal. He's simply incredible. He continues to defy expectation time and time again, even though we already have a very high bar set for Mohamed Salah. He has simply been truly phenomenal since arriving at Liverpool, breaking records, scoring bags and bags of goals, and doing it on a consistent level to the point where, as a winger, he's been outstanding. He's been simply outstanding. Again, maybe he doesn't have the right competition in this Manchester City combined 11 right now, but for me, it doesn't matter, because I look elsewhere in the Premier League. There's no right winger in the Premier League that can touch Mohamed Salah. And, you know, fingers crossed he's playing today, and fingers crossed that he gets a few goals for us today. So, there we go. Mohamed Salah, truly exceptional, truly phenomenal, and deserves his place in this combined 11. And finally, of course, up front in this combined 11, I have gone with Erling Haaland. Now, I can make a case for Darwin Núñez this season. I can say that Núñez has improved his overall game, and I think if you're looking for a player that is a constant threat, that is making stuff happen even when he is not scoring goals, I would go with Darwin Núñez, because for me, as obviously as incredible as what Haaland is, sometimes for me, if he does have a bit of a quiet game, he's not necessarily doing a lot. And I feel like when Núñez has a game in which he doesn't score, or he doesn't assist, he doesn't contribute, he's still making things happen. And that is the biggest compliment that I can give Darwin Núñez. However, I can't overlook Haaland for obvious reasons. The fact that he is still top goal scorer. The fact that he absolutely obliterated the goal scoring record of last season. The fact that this guy continues to go from strength to strength season after season. The fact that this guy continues to work hard, even with his sheer phenomenal talent. A freak of nature, an all-round quality striker. And I think what just tips it over the edge for me in terms of Núñez versus Haaland, in terms of this aspect, is the prime objective of being a striker is that you are a killer in front of goal. And Núñez, although in the past few weeks we have seen that Núñez has got that killer streak within him, he just needs to find it on a more consistent basis. This guy right here has it on a consistent enough basis, and that is what the difference is here. So whilst I obviously praise Núñez, and I think he deserves again an honourable mention in this scenario in comparison to arguably the best striker in the world, or at least one of the best strikers in the world. I'm sure a certain Harry Kane may have something to say about that with his current performances in Germany. As far as an individual goes, not necessarily in terms of maybe trophies, but in terms of being an individual goes, Haaland for me goes in. Haaland for me goes in. And if I have added this up correctly, I believe it is 6-5. Yes, it's 6-5 in favour of Manchester City. I'm hoping that's not going to be the scoreline later on today when these two teams meet. I'm hoping that City don't win at all in this game when these two teams meet later on today. But at the same time, fingers crossed for a Liverpool win. Fingers crossed that the players that I've talked about step up. Maybe even some of the players that I've given honourable mentions to step up. And hopefully Liverpool get the job done. Please, I'm begging you, Liverpool, get the job done over this team. I don't think we'll have a better chance of facing City in a long time. I feel like this could be the moment that Liverpool lay a real statement down and get the job done today. Anyway, that's my combined 11. Those are just the thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you want to call it, of this guy. I want to know what you guys think. What do you make of this Liverpool-Manchester City combined 11? Let me know your thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, and whatever else on that down below in the comment section. And also get involved with your own. Hit the like button if you haven't already. Subscribe if you are new or want to see more content like this. Both things are always invariably greatly appreciated. And of course, thank you all so much for watching and listening to the video. Yeah, thanks everyone for watching. Take care. I've been Fletch, this has been another Fletch Talks video, and I'll see you all again soon in another video, or live stream, or whatever it may be. Cheers guys, thanks everyone for watching. Come on Liverpool, take on Manchester City later on today, and fingers crossed that the Reds are the ones to walk out with the 3 points. Going to be watching, going to be interesting, it's going to be exciting, it's going to be nervy, but I cannot wait for it to all kick off later on today. Enjoy the football guys, and I will talk and speak to you all again very, very soon.